Hey, outdoor legal warriors, did you know that there are 5 commandments you must follow to mentally survive being charged with a crime? Are you interested in this area of the law? Stay tuned. This is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear. I'm a defense attorney in Linwood, Washington. My law firm's been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington state for more than 20 years by putting out these videos to help educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people get the help they need. Now I'm just going to jump right into it. 5 commandments. I'm not talking biblical. I'm talking rules that it's really important to follow if you're accused of a crime, how to survive it mentally. Because I don't think that the court or prosecutors or police realize that for most people, the biggest punishment of being accused of a crime is the stress, it's the anxiety, it's not sleeping at night. And so, over 30 years of being in the criminal system and a whole lot of therapy and reading and other things, I've come up with 5 commandments that I recommend that my clients follow to be able to mentally survive being charged with a crime. I think the first one is that you have to battle your brain. What do I mean by that? Well, our brain, or the ancient part of our brain, operates on survival mode. So anytime our survival is threatened, being accused of a crime is like having a survival threatened life. We might lose our job, our freedom might be taken away. It feels like we're not going to survive. And therefore, what are the emotions that we can feel is we can feel like it's all or nothing. We can feel like it's never going to end. We can feel like it's life and death. And those things are how we're designed to feel, but it's really not the actual case of what happens in almost every criminal case. There's going to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's typically not all or nothing. There's lots of ways to resolve a case favorably, and certainly in almost all cases, it is not life and death. So we have to battle our brain. We have to sort of fight that survival instinct and make sure that that we keep an accurate mirror of what's going on. Some books I can recommend for that: The Four Agreements is a great book to look at to give us a way to deal with things. The Obstacle is a Way, a book upon stoicism, which means going through the obstacles. Atomic Habits is good for getting little habits to sort of get ourselves away from problems. And I think How to Stop Worrying and Start Living is another good option to sort of push off worry until it's time to worry about something. So the first commandment is we have to learn to battle our brain. The second one is listen to your attorney. Okay. It might seem obvious, but so many people pay money for an attorney and then they don't really treat them as an expert. The more advanced we are in our job or accomplishments, the more expert we are in our own job out there, I think it's the least likely we are to actually rely on the expertise of the attorney. Because, unlike some areas not a lot of us have watched TV shows about organic chemistry, but everybody's watched a TV show about criminal law or a movie about a crime. And so we all have some experience in thinking or imagining how it really works. And if you don't trust your attorney, if you try to tell him how to do the job, if you try to work on a certain set of rules that you think exist that really don't, you can interfere with that attorney-client relationship. You could sort of strain it, and you could also cause yourself more stress because what you think might help the case probably won't. Like most people think diving deep into the fact pattern is going to help the case. And then right away, we need to interview witnesses and do stuff like that. And that's just not true. There's lots of reasons why that's counterproductive in a case, especially early on. Most cases are resolved at a macro level, not at a micro level. It's more about what we do after the fact than the exact details of the case. That doesn't apply to major felonies, but most cases aren't major felonies. So you need to listen to your attorney because it probably doesn't work like you think. Additionally, give your attorney some space to operate, right? Give them a chance to help you while they help others. If you call your attorney all the time, you could become one of those clients that your attorney doesn't want to deal with. The good attorneys, and hopefully you're called a good attorney, are in very high demand. They're helping as many people as they have the capacity to, and their business has the capacity to. Criminal attorneys, in my opinion, is they don't get into it to get rich. They get into it to help people. Now, the good ones might end up having a pretty good business, but you can't have a good criminal defense practice unless you really care about people and are really good at helping people. So give them some room. Ask for what you want. Ask for explanations. Tell them what you don't understand, but listen to your attorney because there's things that they know that you don't know, and hopefully that will get you to where you need to be in the case. The third commandment, and this might seem like a strange one, is do not go to Google. If you happen to find yourself an attorney, please don't go to Google and start looking at all the things that are out there to scare you. What does Google's great to find an attorney? You can read reviews and figure out who you want to hire, but most people start to do their own research, and the research is usually looking at attorneys' websites. And guess what? In my opinion, many attorneys' websites are designed to scare people, put in the worst case scenario to increase the urgency for somebody to hire an attorney. And, just so the very nature of it is often listing some worst case scenarios that may not be too realistic. Secondarily, another reason not to go to lawyer Google after you've got a lawyer, that is case results are very local. So you would be very surprised, and I think any defense attorney would agree, what jurisdiction the crime happens in, what prosecuting agency is handling the crime totally dictates the type of outcome that's possible. A crime at the state level may be treated harsher than a crime at the city level because prosecutors at the state level have different incentives than prosecutors at the city level. Different incentives, different rules they have to follow, different ways they do things. And one side of the street might be a state case because it's not in the city limits, and the other side of the street is a city case. It's the same exact case, but it's a totally different way to handle things and a totally different projected outcome. Additionally, in the counties, felonies are handled one way in Snohomish County. They're handled a different way in King County. They're handled yet a different way in Pierce County or Skagit County. Now, when you're going online, you can get these general things, oh, I'm scared, but it doesn't really help because a really experienced and good defense team knows exactly what the culture is of each prosecutor's office. They've had to cut their teeth on it. They've had to figure that out over time. They're going to be able to help predict how it might go for that local jurisdiction where your situation is. Again, get yourself that attorney and then listen to their experience. Don't try to figure it out on your own. If you don't trust them, do not hire them. I think that's really important. Additionally, things on Google are often out of date. Even my own website, there's things on there that I'm sure they're out of date because I'm too busy trying to help people and save people than see how updated is my website. So, mental note, I'm going to get some people to check, but I think that's another good thing to remember. What can you do if you want general ideas? Go to YouTube. YouTube is educational, right? You can go to my station, obviously. I've got hundreds and hundreds of videos that let you know how I think the system works and how I think we need to do things. So the commandment 3 is please stay away from Google. Commandment number 4, focus on the positive, right? It relates to 1 to a degree. Our life is not going to be over because of this. Things could always be worse. You have so many positive things in your life. Hopefully you have friends, hopefully you have a job, hopefully you have families, hopefully you have your health. You at least have some of those things. Maybe you've got a dog. The dog will always love you, right? But you need to focus on the positive. And you have to pay attention to those people that care about you, right? There are people that care about you. Positively also, if you've hired a good attorney, you've read hundreds of reviews about amazingly good outcomes. Have some faith in your legal team and don't just focus on the negative. You have to develop some oppositional thinking. When you feel that negative thought coming in, it's like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen in this case. I feel so terrible. Maybe instead think, hey, I hired the best legal team possible. I'm going to trust them to get me a good result. I'm going to worry about what I can control. I can control what they tell me to do. I can control staying out of trouble. I can go out and have a walk in the sunshine. We need our clients to stay positive so we don't get into more problems. And really good attorneys don't want their clients to suffer, right? And then I think commandment number 5 is closely related. And this is important. Rely on others in your life for support. Please, please do not decide for your loved one or your friend what is the best outcome for them. Many people say, well, I don't want to burden my parent, or I don't want to burden my friend, or I'm embarrassed and I'm going through this. One of the first questions I ask in the first 5 minutes of a new client interview is, who do you live with? Do they know this happened? Do your parents know this happened? Do you have any pets? I want to find out what your support system looks like, because a good attorney can fix the case. A great attorney helps fix you also. Okay? So don't decide the best outcome for them. What does that mean? That means that they may want to help you. People want to help others in need. Don't you? Aren't you more likely to want to help someone in need than help a millionaire, right? When people, we want to be needed. We want to help others. So give them a chance, okay? For the most part, use your common sense. You got to know if you have some abusive partner and you don't want them involved. But usually our mind is playing tricks on us that makes us stay stuck and scared and isolated. You know what that does? That just creates more opportunities for harm, more opportunities for new crimes, more opportunities to suffer, more not sleeping. And most of the time when I see my clients reach out to their family members or their friends for some support, either emotionally, financially, with childcare, going to court, whatever it might be, they are pleasantly surprised, and it's great to no longer feel alone. You have to let people make their own decisions. So that is commandment number 5. So I hope you found this useful. Those are the 5 commandments I think you have to follow to be able to emotionally survive being accused of a crime. It's a really hard thing. Us attorneys, we suffer with you, right? We try not to so we can do a better job, but we're helping people in their time of need. And the way that society scapegoats those charged with crimes, it makes sense that we're worried. But there's millions of people that have got through this. You can get through this too. So please try these 5 things, and hopefully you'll have a much better time surviving the emotional part of the ordeal you're in. So if you found this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people get the help they need. More importantly, if you have a criminal problem in Washington State, feel free to reach out to my firm. Hopefully we can help. If so, we'll listen to what happened, we'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.